What if I told you that some retirees moved across the world thinking they'd found paradise, only to hit major surprises they never saw coming? I'm talking about real expats who thought they had it all figured out until reality showed up with a totally different plan. But here's the thing, they're not warning you to scare you. They're trying to save you from the mistakes they made. Welcome back to Retire Without Borders, the show where I go over the best options to retire overseas. I asked 10 expats the one thing they wish they knew before they left the US, and their answers? Man, they're raw, honest, and way more eye-opening than the travel blogs let on. So if you've been dreaming of retiring abroad, this might be the most important video you watch today. Let's dive in. Let's start with Marcia, who moved to Costa Rica thinking she'd live her best beach life. What she didn't count on? Needing dental surgery and finding out the wait time was 3 months. Marcia told me, "I assumed all healthcare was cheaper and faster abroad." That's not always true. Some countries do have great care, but others have limited resources or require a good understanding of the language. Private care might be great, but it's not free. So if you're banking on affordable healthcare overseas, do the homework. Tom moved to Portugal with high hopes, but nearly gave up when it took him 9 months to sort out his visa. "Nobody talks about the paperwork," he said, or how often the rules change, or how slow some embassies move. Some countries have retirement visas, others have investor visas, and others, they make it confusing on purpose. Point is, you need a visa game plan. Without it, you could be hopping on a return flight faster than you can say photo music. Let's get real for a second. Moving abroad sounds like a dream, until you're sipping coffee on your balcony and realize you don't know a soul. Having studied and worked overseas, I know, I've been there. James, who retired to Thailand, said the first 6 months were magical. Then it hit him. "I missed my grandkids. I missed chatting with the grocery store clerk. I didn't think I'd get lonely, but I did." If you're planning to move abroad solo, think about how you'll stay connected. Join expat communities, plan visits home, or get involved locally. Loneliness is real, but it doesn't have to be permanent. In my videos, I often point out locations with a strong expat presence. Having other people around who speak your language and are dealing with a similar move is very helpful. Now let's talk about currency fluctuations. The dollar may go up or down against your currency. It usually isn't immediate, but it will happen. If you're living on a fixed income, this one's big. Karen moved to Colombia and was loving life until the dollar dipped. "My rent went up overnight, my budget out the window," she said. When you live abroad, your expenses are in a different currency. If the exchange rate changes, so does your cost of living. And if you're retired, you don't have the luxury of getting a raise. Build a buffer and keep an eye on the rates, because they don't care about your retirement plans. Number 5. Not everyone speaks English. Now, this may be obvious, but hear me out. Now, in addition to English, I am proficient in German and also speak some Spanish. These 2 languages have helped tremendously when traveling in countries with those are spoken. Well, Rick thought he'd pick up Spanish fast when he moved to Panama. "I figured I'd be fluent in 6 months," he said. "It's been 2 years, and I still get nervous ordering lunch." Google Translate helps, but learning the language is key to really feeling at home. And depending on where you go, even basic tasks like going to the bank or talking to a plumber can feel like decoding ancient scripts. Trust me, speaking a foreign language on the phone is way more challenging than speaking it in person. Even with my Spanish, I remember having issues communicating with the pharmacy when my wife took ill while on a vacation in remote Mexico some years ago. Invest in a tutor, take classes, or choose a country with a strong English-speaking expat community. Show card for New Zealand. Every place feels magical at first, but once the dust settles, you'll start noticing the small stuff, the slow Wi-Fi, the lack of target, the weird power outages. Michelle, who moved to Belize, said, "It's paradise, but paradise has bugs and bureaucracy. Retirement abroad is real life. The good, the bad, and the lizards in your kitchen." 7. Local laws might surprise you. Gary got a rude awakening in Italy when he tried to renovate his kitchen. "I needed 7 permits and had to wait months. And don't get me started on taxes," he laughed. Laws abroad are different. Property laws, inheritance rules, driving licenses, even dog ownership. Research is key. Or hire a good lawyer. Fast food, Amazon Prime, peanut butter. Can you do without those? You might need to. Sounds silly, but these little comforts matter. Lisa, who lives in Vietnam, said, "I miss Target runs. I miss bagels. I even miss bad US TV sometimes." You'll gain new things, but you'll lose some old ones. Be ready for trade-offs. Jack thought retiring in Ecuador would be sunshine all day. Turns out, he didn't factor in altitude sickness or rainy seasons. "It rained 23 days in a row. I was ready to pack it up," he joked. Do more than glance at the climate chart. As I've mentioned before, it is best to test drive a country before you move. Show card of test drive. Live there during your least favorite season first, if you can. Don't pack up and move temporarily to Malaysia during the dry season. Also go during monsoon season so you know what to expect. All right, here's the flip side. Every single expat I talked to, every one of them, said they don't regret it. Yes, there were hiccups. Yes, there were surprises. Yes, there are tough days. But they said it was worth it. "I feel free here," said Anna, who lives in Portugal, "like I'm finally living life on my terms." That's the dream, right? So, if you're thinking about retiring overseas, here's the takeaway. Do your research. Talk to real people who have been there. Test the waters. But don't let fear stop you. Because yeah, there will be things you didn't expect. But also, there will be moments of magic you never could have imagined. And maybe, just maybe, your second act is the one that finally feels like you. Watch this next video if you're wondering which country gives you the most bang for your buck.